Howard Kurtz is the media reporter for The Washington Post and host of CNN's Reliable Sources program. He joins us from Washington. Howard, good morning.
Good morning, Harry.
There were rumors about this and all kinds of ideas and speculation about it for months and months now. Whose decision is this really, as best as you can tell?
I think Larry probably would have departed CNN next year when his contract was up. I mean, let's not forget that his ratings have declined by almost half in the last year. But I think he wanted to walk away on his own terms. I mean, this is a guy who revolutionized cable television, putting on a radio show with people calling in, having presidents and politicians come on. None of that had been done before. But he was an institution whose time had passed. And I think he came to recognize that with the family problems, the ratings problems, and maybe just the sense at 76, it was time to move on.
Have you spoken to him in the last 24 hours?
I spoke to him last night. I interviewed him.
And what did he say?
Well, he talked about his 25th anniversary just a few weeks ago. He interviewed President Obama. He interviewed Lady Gaga. He interviewed Bill Gates and LeBron James. And he said, I ain't going to top this. He's Larry from Brooklyn. He said, I ain't going to top this. And maybe it was time to move on to another chapter in his life. Larry King, as Jim Axelrod noted, not exactly a confrontational interviewer, but he made his guests feel comfortable, which is why so many people were willing to appear on that program.
Well, I think that really is so true, because you have to think about CNN in its infancy 25 years ago. This is the guy who put CNN on the map.
Absolutely, particularly, Harry, in 1992 when Ross Perot essentially launched his candidacy on Larry King Live, and then Bill Clinton went on, and then President Bush, the first President Bush, went on, and Bill Clinton made 3 appearances in his first 2 years as president. We take this for granted now. They all go on The Daily Show, and they go on Leno and Letterman, but at the time, it was seen as a way of circumventing the Washington press corps, and Bill Clinton said, Larry King liberated me by giving me to the American people directly.
It's very interesting. So who replaces him then? I mean, there is no succession, so to speak. It's not like somebody's been groomed within CNN to replace him, has there been?
Absolutely not. And I think CNN management didn't want to have Larry pick up the newspaper and read that they were negotiating with a potential successor. I've heard the same names batted about. British journalist Piers Morgan, as was mentioned earlier, Ryan Seacrest, I guess, is Larry's candidate. There's been talk about Katie Couric if she were to leave CBS. But the real question, I think, is whoever gets this coveted slot is there still room in an increasingly partisan cable television universe for this kind of variety show where you talk to the president one day and Lady Gaga the next? I mean, Larry losing the ratings to Sean Hannity at Fox, Rachel Maddow at MSNBC. It's a lot more opinionated out there than Larry ever allowed himself to be.
So interesting. Howard Kurtz, thanks so much. Do appreciate you coming on this morning.
Thanks, Harry.
All right, you bet.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.